Hello, everybody! Welcome back to another episode. Oh god, and camera's gone. Technical difficulties
Yeah.
immediately.
Immediately.
So,
As it, you
welcome
I
back
can't
to.
see any of you, by the way.
Excellent. Excellent.
don't need to. You don't need to. Keep rolling. Keep rolling.
You don't need to. We're rolling on. Camera's rolling.
You're fine.
Show must go
Yeah.
on.
Don't care if you're blind.
Who cares if you're blind? What a great statement. So yes,
Exactly.
welcome back to another wonderful episode of our Titans Rock. Almost triple digits now. With our episode counter. The joke must go on. Must. It simply must. So,
One of the first things I got told to my parents when I went home, by the way, was that I can't count to double digits. Yeah, it was very fun.
so yes, we rejoin the party with our traditional recap from a wonderful new soul on board the party. Take it away, Theodore, with our fabulous intro.
Oh, hello everyone. My name is Theodore, and we recently were setting sail aboard the Papaya to go rescue one of these fine people's friends. But some of them are have some anger issues. They had to get out of the system. It's fine. Stabbed me in the arteries a couple times.
Mm.
You know, it happens. We had a wizard on board on
It
a
was
wild
deserved.
magic thing. Bloody blah. It was
It was
not
deserved.
deserved. It really wasn't. I was trying to stop people getting stabbed, and I got stabbed instead. But I'd rather it be me than someone else. So
I'll give anyone 10 XP for if they remember the wizard's name from like 2 months ago.
Mavilius.
Yeah.
Excellent. Take 10 XP.
Thank you.
Mr.
I
Love
can
of
only
my
think of
life.
Mark.
To
Who's
the
a
man.
Why do I take you?
Mr. Right.
Mr. Right.
Mr. Anderson.
Mr. Pretty
Sorry.
Star Man.
And he did
we-
did reach into the stars and give a gift of a hat to somebody.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Are they just temporary hit point?
Or what temporary hit points? No one was talking about hit points.
The hit points. Oh, was it XP?
Oh, it's XP.
It was XP. It was 10 XP.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's even better. Nice. Well, we
Yeah.
all level up at the same time anyways, you fucking loser.
You won't
Can't I get
We'll
inspiration?
get there sooner.
you won't level up at the same time as everyone else if you keep getting all the questions right.
You gotta get the quiz. There will be questions at the end of the session, so please write down and please pay attention. Take notes.
Yeah,
Well,
notes
yes,
notes to all the
wait.
DMs out there. Only way to make your players pay attention to their notes. Tie it to
It's a
XP.
Kahoot. A Kahoot quiz, and whoever wins gets 10 XP.
Give me. Can I have an inspiration instead?
Oh.
Sure, if you want to trade 10 XP for a free reroll this session, feel free.
I would love to play a Kahoot game based on our sessions.
Oh my god.
Manage XP. Yeah, there's like we've got like fucking 20,000,
Yeah,
30,000,
What if
some
there's 10
thousands.
Like, why
Yeah,
not?
10 sucks. I get an inspiration.
Huge.
I don't know how
I'm
to add that, so I'm not going to add it.
Villain.
But I'm
You
You
keeping
click on the
it in
little
mind.
picture of
it should be
your
on the front
person.
of your. It should be on your front page of D&D Beyond.
if you like the where your name is and then the picture under it, if you click on the picture it'll light up red and that's you have inspiration.
So, Theodore, if you'd like to
Thank you.
if you'd like
yeah.
to continue with your intro.
Oh yeah, I have inspiration.
So, we continued the wild magic thing. We woke up to a little friendly prank from one of the crewmates, who decided to put dirt on our shoes. It was quite funny, I will admit. We kept a little pillow, and underneath it was dirt for the dirt man. And
The
so
dirt
this
man.
just 12-year-old put dirt in our shoes, and Tiso walked up to him, found out it was him, and battered him in the face immediately.
Whoa.
We did, yeah.
So to make
Someone
it clear,
punched a child pretty aggressively as well.
to make it clear,
Running record.
the player did not know that this was a 12-year-old. It was only revealed once the character had punched him. But that's.
Oh, it was
You
you
know.
before
You also
that.
didn't have any regrets.
I
though.
have to say, there's a DM in here that let me do the punching. So
Yes.
I'm never going to
Real.
stop anyone
No.
from assaulting a child. That's their character choice.
Yeah,
I'm not going to deprive you
Sorry.
of being a bad person. That's fully your right.
Looks at the child in our party that just withered away. Terrible track record.
He's drawn on them for. Right.
Oh no, we killed him!
We killed him. Oh god, no.
No,
Oh god, the track record!
We talked about punching children and it was just way too much.
Touched him out.
how could this happen?
How could this
this is going to be
happen to
complicated.
me?
But yeah, there's going to be a bit of chaos for this week's session. It is our first time doing online games in a little while
With
No.
this group.
with this group, so there's going to be some
Wow.
teething problems that we're going to have to sort through.
Uh-oh.
I don't know what you're talking about. Everything's gone so smoothly so far.
Yeah, grow up. It'll be fine.
So, as we were saying, the party is currently flying. Or do you want to finish your intro?
Yeah, man.
Whoa.
Sure, why not? There was Wizard Man appeared, was like, stop stealing my shit. It was Bartholomew. And Zombie Man was like, so we ate, we drank. Soren turned into a plant because they shot a shotgun
Rockhan.
into the night
Rockhan.
sky.
I did not.
Rockhan did.
Rockhan.
Wow, Theo.
I was looking at Iona and wondering why.
Fuck you too.
Yeah.
So I throw out some insulted you. It's gonna happen a while. So yes, we then spent the entire time protecting Rockhan, who wild shaped because of the wild magic into a potted plant. Tiso got drunk, drew on them, they became tattoos. Wizard Man appeared and was like, "That's everything." A bunch of people died, lightning struck everywhere, people almost flew off the ship, fell off and died. But you know what? We made it through. Okay, fandabidosi, okie dokie. And you know what? Now we're just eating breakfast after two of our party members have made up a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yay, friend.
the camera, after that incredibly long scrolling Star Wars intro,
Yeah.
the camera, yeah, with lots of interruptions, but it's all left in. We're so gonna have to get like an AI version of that recap to play at the start of everything.
Yeah. Well, not AI.
Well, not AI.
I'll make it.
My point was I'm not making it. So if
Well,
anyone
I'll
else
make
wants
it.
to volunteer for that, feel free.
Don't let AI become your fucking default solution.
Okay. Well, if it's
The
any
problem
consolation, I haven't
is
used
AI.
AI for anything, anything so far. So there is that.
It will
It's all
be
good.
that way.
But yes,
I'll make the scrolling intro.
the camera rejoins the party as they are all standing on the deck, looking over the deck of the Papaya, looking over the city of Ravens Point, and they are looking at the gigantic building that is the converted ship known as the White Leviathan. And at the top of that ship, there is someone being actively keelhauled, which is an expression of being dumped in the water and dragged behind a ship traditionally. However, given that that ship is now a building, what has essentially happened is someone is just being dangled from the top of like a good 13 or 14 story tall building.
Fun. Hope
So,
they're having a good time.
you get the distinct
Well, I bet
impression they are
it's actually
definitely
good.
not having a good time.
Oh no!
No, surely. Okay. We discussed this. We need to get fucking Theodore away from this, or he's gonna
Oh
start
yeah.
a thing.
Yeah, how do we do that?
Who's
Hey Theo, dancing lights.
Theo, as you're looking off into the distance, getting a good look at Raven's Point, directly in front of your face, just a 10-foot bright light is just like boom.
Shapes and colors, shapes and colors.
Let me ask you let me ask you a question that you've probably not considered about your character before. Is he epileptic?
Can I roll for it?
Yes.
You know what? Sure, but be prepared that if you roll for epilepsy, I will remember that.
Oh,
We can't.
hope you
We
do.
have.
Okay, I
We
need you
can't have
to
the party accidentally giving seizures to be like a thing.
I need you to roll me a luck check. I'll say let's go with anything 5 to 1. You have epilepsy on a D20.
Oh,
Yes.
It's not that
Come
rare.
on,
A solid 20% chance.
But it's off screen, I can't see it. I guess I'll wait till the number. What? 5.
A 5. Theodore.
5.
Theodore. You all watch as Theodore starts having a small seizure.
not again!
God.
It's always the magic ones.
You all
Forget.
watch.
Floor and start seizing.
Yeah. Theodore collapses to the floor and is having a
I
small
need to get
seizure.
back into character. Okay.
Oh,
Does anyone know how to deal with a
Fuck.
seizure?
no. You kind of just wait them out
Yeah.
all the time. How do I help? Oh god, Spirit of Dying! I can't.
Theodore, you watch as Needle rushes over. You're not sure where these lights have came from, and you're not sure what's going on, but as you're seizing on the ground, you are saved from death that you're not yet having.
Yeah.
Have we as
Can
a
I
group
try?
seen anyone other than Fizzlebottom have a seizure before? Because
Give me a medicine check.
Yeah,
have
me
a
too,
question.
actually.
I tried.
okay, that was
to
pretty
talk.
high. So
I'm +0 for medicine.
20, 30-20.
Dirty
Oh,
20.
fuck. That
Yeah,
was 5.
you've
for me.
probably seen or heard of people having seizures. Epileptic is not a rare condition. So it's one of those things. You've probably never seen someone actually have the seizure, other than Fizzlebottom.
Fizzlebottom.
But you would know what they are.
Okay, so we're not
Tiso has
immediately
rolled
jumping
5.
to necromancy here.
Unlikely.
Yeah, just someone sniped me with a necromancy
With a mind
spell.
control. But yeah, actually on a 20, you would know that the kind of the correct thing to do here is to just kind of make sure he doesn't swallow his own tongue
Yeah.
and wait out.
Is Brock
The temptation to just shove my whole hand in his mouth.
Brockham is disconnecting and reconnecting regularly, but I can still
Yeah, my Wi-Fi keeps dropping out.
I can still hear Heather when she talks. So
Okay.
Yeah.
That's just because I'm hearing like the buzzy disconnect of a mic.
I think it's just a general buzz that's not
Okay.
it's not too loud or too bothersome in my ears anyway. So the recording won't be too bothered by it.
Okay.
Yes,
Tiso rolled 5. What's Tiso thinking about this?
you know what seizures are. You've no idea what would have caused this.
Oh god, he's Fizzlebottom. Fizzlebottom 5.
Yeah.
Spirit Dying, Spirit Dying, Spirit Dying! 0 medicine.
So
Yeah, well, we've successfully
in
distracted
an
ourselves
interesting
from
kind of
that
way,
guy.
without the ship stopping, you all fly past Raven's Point. It takes a good half hour, but after the seizure, Theodore has not noticed anything particular about the city.
I
Excellent.
feel like it'd be pretty difficult to notice that guy being keel-hauled
Exactly.
from the floor.
Screaming at the top of his lungs.
Oh jeez.
So,
This can't become a thing, guys. We can't keep doing this.
as you guys make your way forward, you can see that there is the landscape sprawling out before you. You are obviously high above the sky. You're about a mile up, but you're looking down onto the scenery and you're seeing the sort of almost British countryside version of nature, and that it is mostly fields, not too many trees or forests, not too many hedges. It's kind of just fields and barren landscape of grass. And
I'm so sorry.
why?
Just you're just talking, and like I should film my screen. I'll show you later, but you're talking, and Rockan's mic is just going.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's fine. It's just really funny.
Yeah, I think it's so
It's
unfair. 'cause
very
I'm-
distracting.
Bind them.
Yeah.
just
Okay.
every-
Anyways, sorry. Yes, the
You're
fields and
welcome.
all of that.
But after about an hour or two, you guys make your way through, and Needle, you are familiar with where this location is now, having actually been here before and travelled from the Underdark to Raven's Point. It was the first city that you reached on your travels away from Drow Society. Not necessarily apart from Drow Society at that point, and even now kind of on the fence. But you are familiar enough with the landscape that you know that there is a small craggy section of coastline not far to the south of here, because this continent gets colder the further south it goes. So Soren's homeland is to the south of here, and then Stan's homeland is even further south from that.
Yeah.
But
We're
you
all
guys,
neighbours.
yeah, essentially, you actually all rolled for very similar starting locations, apart from
Except for me, no.
apart from Tiso and Brocan, and
I
obviously
almost had the dream.
now Theodore, because he's not from this continent, he's from heaven.
Not from this realm.
Aw.
He's from the plains above,
He's an angel.
a fallen angel.
I'm
He's
a
suspicious
fallen
as fuck.
angel, so if I ever try and see the light, I'm just gonna collapse. Is that how they keep fallen angels out? As soon as they see the light, they collapse.
Oh.
And then they just enter freefall. Yeah, what people don't know about Mount Celestia is it's actually always in a rainbow like strobe light to keep out the angels.
Just a
no.
Any angel that falls gains epilepsy. It's a condition that they get for being bad.
Yeah,
I didn't know.
you're bad. Yeah,
Every fallen angel has epilepsy.
it's
It's a
Damn it.
convenient way to blanket keep them all out. They're not going to keep flying if they're having a seizure. But yes, it takes you about 3 hours on this day, and we did roll for weather before leaving last session, and I did check. It was a mostly uneventful weather roll, and there was no encounters on the way there. So, after a good 3 or 4 hours, the ship actually starts slowing down, and Captain Stan makes his way over to the group. Completely disregards Theodore having been
Oh no.
had a seizure, and just says, right, well, as far as we're aware, our instructions are to drop you off, and then continue with our work, delivering to a nearby city, Orlea, and come back and swing round and pick you up on the way back if you're on the surface.
Is this us going to advance
the
the
city?
main quest? Well,
What was the name of the city that they're going to?
Mhm.
Orlea.
Sorry.
Olure.
Thank you.
And that is the capital of Strain, which is the continent that you're on. So you being from this continent or small island, I should say, you would be aware that this is the capital city. It would take you about a week to get from there to your homeland if you were on a horse, just travelling by horse. And you would know Orlea is mostly the capital because it's set up to receive goods from the sky. it's safe from the storms, protected by a magic wall. That's basically like a big version of Tiny Hut, where it opens. It's a wall that summons a dome between all the walls, so that it keeps the weather out. Because this continent is particularly violent for that type of weather. So, he reiterates that he's going to Allure, and he expects that it'll be possibly 3-4 days before we are back on this side.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Okay, so we've got 3-4 days to find Oscar, hopefully Maltera as well, and then question what we're doing about Stan.
Yeah. So,
Well, I will
3-4 days
also
to...
I will also remind you all, we're not the only transport option. If you were to make your way to Allure or to Raven's Point, you would be able to get either a ship by sky or sea to go back to wherever you were wanting to. And of course, there's always magical options if anyone in the party happens to be a wizard or knows teleport. Or we're not necessarily the only option for you to escape. If you finish your job quickly, you do not need to wait for us.
Well, I will remind us all. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Half out of character. I think in character as well. Tiso is going to be like, okay, let's put everything. Okay, Oscar Maltera, Stan, and then the fact that there's a necromancer that's risen again with his crystal ball back in Kiathla.
Oh, yeah.
Have we got everything down here?
Yeah.
Uh,
He's on
I
the
feel
verge
like
of
that
tears.
last one might have to be put on the back burner a bit, because we also have to get back to where we just were, because they're having a meeting. Didn't we
Hear me
delay
out, though. I want my crystal ball back.
it? You make a compelling argument.
I'm compelled.
I did it. Let's go.
Okay. Yeah, I think this is the first time Tiso's been sober in like the past few days, and is kind of just coming down with the oh god. Okay.
So your
Excuse
recap
me.
was Oscar Maltera, Stan, possibly Crystal Ball, possibly Titan's Rock.
Yeah, basically.
Can I
Well-
ask a question?
No.
Maybe.
Wait, was that in character?
That was in character.
Yes. Sorry, I can't hear you super well, so I can't tell when you're in character or out of character.
Was part of that
yeah.
plan to come back and get Captain Stan?
No,
What? No.
Theodore. No. Didn't you get the picture that there's a different Stan? Sorry.
No. I have not heard of another Stan. Well, I know
Yeah,
there
you
are
have.
other
It's Stan Book Club.
Out of character, he did actually realise that, because when Tiso and Soren were fighting at some point, it was botanist that came up to you, was like, "Oh my god, they wanna like
They want to kill the captain."
And then you listened,
Yeah.
you eavesdropped, and
Yeah, because
realised
you did hear a rumour that they were hunting a Stan,
Yeah.
I did.
and immediately
hear
people
that.
were like, "Oh my god, the captain's
Fuck.
called Stan. They've suddenly appeared on our ship. They're hunting Stan."
Oh no.
So you
So-
did know that they are looking for a Stan, but I think this is the first time you've clarified that it's not your captain. If I'm honest, I think
Okay.
this might be the first time you've talked about it to them.
Yes, I suppose, yeah.
I just had to make sure that you weren't coming back to take our captain
No,
with you. He doesn't need to pilot the ship, I'm afraid.
no. To be honest, I don't really want to
No,
go
don't
anywhere near
worry.
that guy. I didn't.
Yeah, one stands enough for us, and currently we're not on great terms with that one. So
I'm sorry to hear that.
Wait, out
Our
of
captain
character. Out of character question.
What's up?
I remember with the other Stan, he used memory stuff to make me think that his name wasn't Stan.
Oh yeah, Nigel.
Who all remembers meeting another Stan at another point? Like,
I do.
I can't remember if I remember that.
I believe that you met, as far as I know, Brochan and Needle met Nigel, and Tiso and Soren met someone that said, "My name's Stan." Oh, I mean Nigel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't remember another Stan. There's
No.
only one.
Well, there's this one, and then there's the captain.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
So you just happen to have ran into two people called Stan.
There's a lot of Stans in this world.
Stans.
Too many.
Too
I haven't
many.
met that.
We're gonna
What
call
can
them.
they say
We're gonna
now?
call everyone called Stan.
It's like the
But
John
Then you
Doe
can
of
never
this
have another
universe.
character.
I think we already rolled when we were looking through when Mavilius showed us Oscar. I think we probably already rolled for if we recognised it, like if there were any details that we could make out. Can we do that again? Because I've forgotten if we.
I
Got
will do the
details or not.
recap. There's no point rolling now because it was like a couple days ago,
Yeah.
and you won't receive any new info.
Yeah,
From what I
okay.
remember, I think you guys realised that there was almost no distinguishing features other than the fact that it was definitely in the Underdark, because it was being
It's a
lit by
prison cell
crystals, as opposed to torchlight, because they don't like having open flame down there because it just fills caverns with smoke. So they light with crystals, which was something Needle pointed out of like, that's a very Underdark light bulb, so to speak. And that it was definitely a jail cell that he was in alone, but you didn't see any like markers of who the jail belonged to, or like they obviously don't keep a sign in their
Or
jail that's
Moterra.
like, you are
I'm
here on the
guessing-
map.
I'm guessing I wouldn't know where like dungeons and stuff are.
Probably not. It's in Drow society, if you are taken to the dungeons, you're usually not shown where they are or let go ever.
Okay, cool.
It might be a case of there's too many dungeons to know which one it is.
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of the problem with a society that's so volatile, and that you are allowed to kill the person directly above you to take their position. That kind of everyone that is rich enough to have a dungeon will have one, just because it's easiest to deal with things that way.
We know the person who kidnapped them is poor.
That is a good identifier. Although you did kind of know that previously, maybe not Theodore, but the party knew that Ruby was involved in some capacity and that she had money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, probably at least 5 gold.
Well, Tiso didn't know that, but because Tiso wasn't friends with Ruby.
This is true.
I think it's fair to say that none of us are friends with Ruby.
Is it
A lot
fair
of us
to
are
say?
scared of Ruby.
Okay.
So, as you get closer and closer to the craggy coastline, you are anchored down from the ship, and you are given a rope ladder to take you the last 30 or 40 feet from the deck of the ship down to the mainland, because there's nowhere to dock here. There is no set infrastructure, so you are kind of just given a rope ladder to go off the side. And Captain Stan turns to you, Theodore, and says, "Now, there's something I've forgotten to interact with you about with this, Theodore."
Are we hearing this, or?
Would Theodore ask for a conversation in private if he was approached?
No, he everything's open with him. He does not mind.
Honest boy.
So you're all hearing this. You're all hearing this perfectly fine. As Stan comes up and says, "So, when we were approached about taking this deal, there was some mention of a member of the ship accompanying them down into the Underdark. I was wondering if you would like to volunteer for the task.
Fucking Tiso, like, fucking...
Well, I'm gonna turn to the party and go, would you all be alright with me coming with you? It seems personal.
Would you be alright with that? We did just give you a seizure.
Wait, what do you need an Underdark?
You guys? I was used.
I was spaced out.
Wait, it was you guys?
Huh?
Why the oh, right, no.
I was autism spaced out. What was that?
Captain Stan has asked if Theodore would like to volunteer for the task of accompanying you into the Underdark.
Oh.
And Tiso, like, doesn't want to cause a scene, but so it's just shutting up, like...
And I asked, would you all be alright with that?
What business do you have?
His business would be to act as a somewhat of a bodyguard in this situation. The note that we received, including the payment for your shipment here, requested that for an additional payment we would send a bodyguard, someone from the ship, to accompany you down as extra muscle. And I have graciously accepted that payment already.
Okay.
I'm sure you have. Can we have a moment as a group to discuss this?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Cool. I'll pull Tiso aside and and the others can also follow if they want, but I just need to make sure Tiso doesn't go homicidal.
What's up?
I mean, not the most ideal situation, but he could be useful. He
I know.
clearly doesn't like it when we get hurt.
I know.
Welcome left.
Rockman was just like, fucking Theodore, no.
He was like, oh god,
Rowan's
Theo's
jumped off the
coming,
ship.
jumps off ship.
No.
No, that's Tiso's move.
Dude, do we know if Theo can lie? I say in character.
I think...
I don't know.
Because that could be a problem.
think
He's
he
lied
can
in the
admit truth.
capacity of the prank, right? He lied about the dirt man.
That's
He
true.
did lie about the dirt man.
And if we don't tell him anything, he's got nothing to lie about.
Yeah. I mean, it's clear that I can't, dancing light, shapes, and colors distract him if anything comes up. So,
That's so
To
wrong.
be fair, that would be a really good distraction for anyone coming our way if we leg it and give Theo a seizure.
oh no.
I will point out, guys, who was it that kept telling me that Stan is dodgy? Can't remember. Let me check that.
One of the crew. If you don't remember their name, then that's definitely a character.
Yeah,
You remember that they
can't
were
remember what his
important on the ship.
I'll find it. Yeah.
No. I have dropped my phone on
Islandale. Theo is seeking Godhood. Daniel said it to me.
There we go.
Yeah.
Definitely not me.
Yes. So
Mhm.
Daniel was a fighter. He was one of the ship's armed militia.
There is.
There's a guy on the ship who has been pointing out that we need to be careful. It's that Theo reads notes, is seeking godhood, seeking good for the sake of gaining power. If he was a true child of the gods, why wouldn't he already be up there? And I think he actually said some more stuff, but I didn't write it down because at that point Tiso was drunk.
The gist of the conversation was along the lines of, like, he fell for a reason. There's clearly something that has been in his past that wasn't up to the ideals that he's living up to now. And
Yeah.
if someone is only being good for the reward of being good, are they actually good or are they just acting? That was Daniel's message.
And I basically say that, but I think I know he's powerful, and when I think I am mature enough to admit that we need all the help we can get for this particular situation. So I won't make a fuss.
Plus, with this group, and especially in our current task, I don't think people's morality is what matters the most. I mean, if he's doing good for the sake of a reward, then I don't think anyone's going to have an issue with him killing a few drow.
No, I probably won't have a problem with what he's up to, but just to put it out there that we need to keep an eye on him and make sure we don't get stabbed in the back for trusting him. I don't think we trust him, but I'm happy with having him. Well, I'm not happy, but
it's okay. We'll have each other's back. We'll keep each other safe. There is the slight issue as well of what if he dies and we don't. Do you think they'll let us back on the ship?
Stuff.
Win-win situation.
Because that feels a lot like I'm feeling very self-important there with our own abilities. It's not even that, it's just that he seems to, when he's around, to be the only one that gets hurt, and that's slightly worrying if we're going to be fighting a bunch of people. If he takes every injury around him onto him, it also could be detrimental to us fighting other people.
Not necessarily.
I'm not sure how it works.
I mean
more on the case of what if the enemies.
I will remind Tiso that you were chucking knives at Soren, and they were curving mid-air to only hit Theo. I think what Soren's pointing out is, what if you're attacking an enemy and Theo gets stabbed?
That is a good point.
Yeah, because if it's all violence...
Because that's a good defense if someone's attacking you, but it also might neuter your ability to reply in kind. So it would be, you get jumped, an archer shoots an arrow, it stabs Theo, you chuck a dagger, it stabs Theo. They return fire, it stabs Theo. You return fire, it stabs Theo. So I think there's just that moment of realising that might be a valid concern.
Yeah. I mean, as long as he can be responsible for himself, it should be okay.
Well, sure, but that's a good point. If we can't attack anyone, then that's a problem. Someone else has to ask him about this, though, because
Okay.
Yeah.
Theo?
Yeah?
Yeah?
Group turn.
See when people around you get attacked, is it all injuries that fall on you, or is it just, do you get to choose that? Can you turn it off?
No, I don't get to choose, but it's not all of them.
Which ones
is it? If we attack someone, are you gonna be attacked instead? Because that might be an issue.
No, I've noticed it's mostly only really ranged weapons.
Oh.
If someone had like a fireball, it would hit the enemy. But if you say chucked a dagger, it would carve to hit me. Or if someone had Eldritch
it is
Blast,
a problem.
if you try to
that's a problem.
Line,
what if I just stab someone with a dagger up close?
I would be.
Am I gonna go?
I would be a little worried, but completely fine.
Tiso, do you have any decent close hand weapons?
I have my rapier.
I will remind you, your daggers, although they can be thrown, don't need to be. Like you get exactly the same damage whether you're up close or not.
But that whole point is being chopped.
Can I also add in something?
Plus, the whole point is to be stealthy. We don't want to be
effectiveness. But if you 10, 20 feet away from me, if you throw something at someone there, I'll probably be fine. I don't have a.
But then what's the point of having you with us?
Well, I'm a healer.
True.
A healer.
Fine.
I guess it just
I
means
don't
that if you want to do ranged attacks, Tiso, you have to keep a distance from Theo, which I'm sure you'll be incredibly sad
Won't be
about
a
having to keep
problem.
a distance from him.
Okay.
Yeah. To point out mechanically what Theo has just explained there. Your radius is 10 feet, right, Theo? So if you stand 11 feet from Theo, you're completely unaffected. But if
Okay.
Theo then uses his turn to move within 10 feet of you, nothing ranged can target you.
Well, we're gonna.
Is that on all the time?
all the time.
What do you live like this?
Yeah,
I
and
cannot
Is
be
that
a-
like a feat or something?
as a note, it's any ranged weapon. So
any range.
it could be
Does magic count?
Me. No
Uh,
magic.
Weapon.
You can
not ma-
Eldritch Blast all you want.
yeah,
If it's like-
not magic. It has to
Okay.
be a physical component. Think of it like magnetism.
But think of
Okay.
like a bullet.
So just stabbing's okay, but throwing's bad.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, you can throw if you want, as long as it's like, a distance away from me.
Cool.
Can I come over there? I feel bad shouting across the ship.
Sure.
Yeah, you can come over.
Thank you. Oh, Brock
I'm
left.
gonna really quickly go check if Bix is alright, because
Yeah.
she keeps disappearing. I'll be back in a moment.
Where we left off was yes.
We've kind of accepted that Tiso has
Tiso has
accepted
come
that
round to the
fucking
idea of
Theo is
Theodore
coming
joining, even though your ranged weapons will need to be a little more considerate than they were before. But silver linings, you've not seen him open a fog cloud, so there is that. There is that.
That is true. That is true.
There's time yet.
There's time yet, but you've not
Don't
seen
worry,
him
guys,
display.
Sunlight.
You know, I wouldn't put it entirely past Vinny to have created a whole new character just so he could have Fog Cloud Ball again.
Actually, do I have fog cloud prepared?
I think that as a cleric, you can learn the spell Fog Cloud, if I'm honest.
I will kill you.
You'll
Imagine-
try.
Imagine-
Not a real character threat.
Imagine how
That's a real
fucked
threat.
you would
That's
be.
gonna
It
hunt
can't be
you.
that hard.
don't
All ranged attacks fucking redirect.
I was
on
gonna
you,
say,
and-
you're like, even blind, you've got a really good chance of still killing Theo.
Yeah.
But Theo also has a pretty good chance to hurt you.
Not if
Like
he...
you
That's
would.
fine.
Because you're also blind. So what happens is you can't see where things are coming and they are guaranteed to hit.
What if I just run really close to Tiso?
They'll still guaranteed
I'll stab
hit you.
you.
Theo...
They're not guaranteed to hit.
Kind
Yeah,
of.
they are. You're not...
That's the whole point of
You're
your
not
curse,
guaranteed to take damage, but they will always hit your shield.
Yeah.
It's just sometimes
Bring
they
it
also
on.
deal damage.
Man. Bring it on,
For a
big
second
man.
there, I thought you meant like they were guaranteed to do damage, and I was like,
No.
no.
So regardless of situation, your armor will still take the hit. Like, you will always be struck by whatever it is. It's just that won't always deal damage. Yeah.
That's okay. I'm okay with being struck sometimes.
Yeah, you
I'm
just
so glad
abs-
D&D doesn't have like Minecraft rules where if you take a certain amount of damage, your armor just breaks and you're like down half your health.
there are monsters that do that.
Yeah, the
I don't
rust
like
monster.
that.
Yeah, there's
Never
something
encounter
called a rust monster where if you're wearing anything metallic or that relies on metal, so like even leather armor with like little hinges and things like that here and there, your armor takes damage.
Can you do that with heat metal?
There's no
We've gotten
mechanic.
distracted
There's
again.
no mechanic for it for heat metal. But like I think the point of heat metal is that it doesn't go to melting point.
Mm.
But I think
It just goes.
Heat metal would
realistically,
fuck up anyone with piercings.
yeah, oh god, yeah,
Oh my goodness.
yeah, that would be
People
rough.
can't eat metal.
Tieflings.
Why does anyone with nipple piercings gets attacked by heat metal?
Just someone really aggressively undressing so that they can get their piercing.
Oh wait, is it touch or is it? I thought it was.
No,
Inside.
heat metal is ranged, but you are compelled. Obviously, you can take it off, if you want to stop the pain early. So you can choose to be like, okay, hold on, let me get this out first. Because that's why people usually target weapons, because it encourages them to drop swords and things like that. Because you're like, right, well, it's a Constitution save to even keep it on hold. So if you want them to drop it, they have to pass the con save to even hold it. But on the flip side, if you target something like steel plate, they are trapped inside it cooking. So it's like it takes 10 minutes to take off armor. They're guaranteed to take damage for the entire duration as long as you keep concentration.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Heat metal's a really good spell, but we're moving on with the story.
I was going to say,
Sorry,
we got
I got
distracted again. Probably my fault.
But yes,
fine.
we've
You
just...
can join.
So, Captain Stan comes over and says, excellent, so it sounds like we're in agreement. Theodore can accompany you as part of my agreement to Islandale.
Mhm.
Stan, what happens if Theo dies? Like, he's
I would
here to
imagine-
bodyguard, right?
I would imagine he goes to whatever astral plane he
No.
has earned.
I mean, what happens to us? Like, are we held responsible?
No, that's... No, why?
That's the hazards of
I'm
the
just curious.
occupation.
I don't want to.
Yeah, he's an
It is.
adventurer.
I'm just.
He's an adventurer and a sailor and a bodyguard. He's responsible for his own health.
Yes, Soren.
If I guard the
I'm just
bodies,
double checking.
then
We've had a conversation beforehand, so nothing can come out of the blue if he does die, and then we get blamed for it.
Oh, you might still get blamed for it, but you're not legally required to do anything about it.
yeah, there shouldn't be any
Fair enough.
repercussions.
That's all I need.
I may still hold the grudge.
We'll figure that out
I'm sure we can look at that.
when it if it happens.
When it happens. I will say, if there's evidence you murdered him, that will be a different story.
Oh, I'd leave no evidence.
Well
Don't
then,
worry, yeah, we-
theoretically, you're in the clear.
Guys, I really appreciate it.
Also-
You didn't murder this trip.
We'll try. Also, Stan, about the conversation we had at the start of this journey about
Yes.
someone tailing me.
Oh, we're being
if we
open about
do-
this. Wonderful. Yes. You're being hunted.
Yeah, upsettingly. Yes.
What?
Nito, you knew this.
I'm sorry.
If we do happen to get onto your ship on return, would you let me know if you see any suspicious activity at your destination or anything like that? Just
Yes, of course.
because.
I will be surprised if they have managed to outpace us. Most ships travel at a similar speed, so they're likely, if they are even aware of the direction we were going, they are likely far behind us still.
That's true. I don't know the capabilities of this person. I don't know what magic they have at
Yeah,
their.
correct. Perhaps they've teleported and they are waiting
Yeah.
below, but I have no way of knowing.
Well,
Well, I didn't think of that, and now I am. So thanks.
Don't
It's
worry,
worth
Soren.
considering. It's
You'll
worth
have-
considering.
You'll have us to
It is
help you.
worth it.
Don't worry, I have a lot of pent up energy. We'll deal with it.
We have enough information to scry on that person.
I don't even really know what they
No, I
look
don't
like,
think
other
so.
than that they're blonde and they have sharp
Yeah,
teeth.
we got a description, but not a name. I don't think.
We've
Yeah,
got
we don't have any
clearly a
objects.
description.
I will remind everybody that it is, if you have a description of someone, they gain advantage on scry attempts, and I think it's DC, it's like DC 10 they have to beat. So it would be a case of, as long as their wisdom is low, basically it's like 50-50 but with advantage, so you're kind of talking chances are they would succeed, but it's not impossible.
Got
And the
75
worst that would happen
Yeah.
is that you expend the spell slot and nothing happens. They don't get made aware that they've passed the save.
Let's
Or if we had an object.
Object is 100% chance that it will go through.
Yeah.
does anyone have I know there's this guy's self, but if we could always try and. Well, we're going to probably need to be disguised in some to some capacity to try and infiltrate wherever we're going to end up infiltrating.
Yeah.
From
I can't do that.
overhearing your obviously knowing the plan that you're being dropped off with the intention of going to the Underdark, if you have a way to mass disguise yourselves as drow, that would be probably the most ideal way to pass through without any hassle.
Mm. Does anyone
Or
have that?
looking at
I
needles.
don't have that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot to note. Nido totally put on her episode 1 outfit, but with the hat still. So she's got the spider webs and stuff going.
Nice.
Jill.
I'm very patriotic.
Yeah. Bug tattoos on full display. Spiders all over the clothes. Yeah, Needle is starting to look more and more like a cultist every day.
Ooh.
It's literally in her blood.
Yeah. Or rather, it's literally in her upbringing. Needle's not entirely sure what's in her blood.
Oh no.
I'm gonna wrap my tail around my waist like a belt, and then I'll put my hood up to try and cover my horns.
Yeah.
Disguise. I'm purple.
Yeah, man.
You are
As long as you're in all black, you're
theoretically,
gonna be
you are a
fine.
shade of purple. You could be a light-skinned drow.
Tiso's gonna have
This is
more
the
of a
best
hard
idea.
time though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tiso's pretty blue and
Fucking
ice
white.
white
Say I was
blue.
Are you in all black?
Me? Yeah.
Goth
Yeah,
vibes.
remember
You'll be okay.
Tiso got his emo outfit.
Yeah.
Sorry, how much paint do you have?
Not enough.
Guys, I
Paint
think
for painting would be
Certainly not
paint for
enough.
your skin.
Certainly not enough to paint the fur off you.
No, for Tiso.
Oh, for
Pretend I'm
Tiso.
like a slave or something.
We could always we are captive kind of thing.
It would be very patriotic of Needle.
Just do a little Star Wars.
Needle, you would be aware that it would be considered your human right to go to the surface, capture slaves, and drag them back.
That is true.
It would be almost a legal obligation for you to have slaves. So
Yay, slave arc.
I could always say that I caught you trying to find the people. We could use the information we have to our advantage and be like, oh, they were after these people that I know are there. To make us seem more important.
That
And then
actually
we can
tracks.
get some information maybe by pretending we know more. Maybe.
That's true.
We could also mislead them, maybe.
Mhm.
If we're shown to be tortured by you, we could just pretend that I don't know that the party's behind on whatever they're looking for us to be. Blah blah blah. Okay.
not to be too brutal about it, but one of you is quite obviously a tiefling, which is a class of people that are traditionally incredibly oppressed.
Yeah.
Tieflings are kind of designed to be slaves.
And it's covered in scars.
And is covered in a lot of different torture wounds.
Yeah. And so the Underdark goes to hell, doesn't it?
Yes,
there's
there
probably
is.
tieflings around.
Yeah, you can walk from the Underdark to hell. It's connected by a physical path.
Nice day trip.
That means we could get Stan's siblings out at the same time.
Ooh.
It's a possibility for you to be
we can definitely win back Stan if we bring him his siblings.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about this. And the where we thought Stan was going, so the caves and things, that's actually an entrance to the Underdark.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
so
Stan mentioned previously that there were some drow and some deep gnomes where he lived, which would indicate
But we know he's
Underdark
not on
presence.
strain. We know he's not there though, because we know where when we were scrying at night, during the day, it was nighttime where he was.
Maybe he's still
So he can't be
traveling.
in like. That's true.
Because did he go
I
on?
think we don't know. He just left. You were the last person to see it.
Yeah, the last
Yeah.
conversation ever had was he gave Needle the drinks and was like, here, share this among the party. I'm going to have mine out here and then come back in. And then Soren tanked 2 of them, realised it was
Yeah.
poison.
Delicious.
And now I have
I-
the rest of them.
Yes, and now you have the rest of them, which can be used as charges for your hammer.
Brockhand's hammer.
Yeah, hammer.
All right, yeah.
That's so cool.
It's really rough to hit someone with a blunt object and have there be a chance that they will immediately be paralysed.
Mm.
Yeah.
Just
Mm.
like,
You know what? I think that makes it so much better.
I definitely think it's going to make Brockhand's fights a lot easier if everyone he targets becomes paralysed and unable to fight back. But then again, that's why Drow use Drow poison. It's much easier to take a slave once they've been paralysed.
Yeah, or assassinate someone if they're asleep.
Yep.
This is true.
Are Drow immune to Drow poison?
Yes, they are.
Hmm?
Drow are
Oh,
traditionally
Drow.
immune to Drow poison.
I didn't
That's gonna
know
be very
that.
helpful
Good to
in this
know.
It's the only poison you're immune to. And then you've got the other end of the spectrum where there's dwarfs that are resistant to every poison.
Nice.
Yeah, their dwarven immune system, because they live in caves, it's something about the genetically, like, they eat a lot of things that are toxic to humans and elves and just naturally would normally kill people, and they're used
Like
as sort
that.
of seasoning.
I think Rome's got resistance to poison. If I remember right.
Yes, because you're Yanti, you create your own poison internally,
Yeah.
and it grants you resistance just based on the fact that you're kind of constantly drinking your own poison, just by virtue of it being saliva.
Yeah, it'd be really rough if you just rolled every hour and was a
Yeah.
chance to get poisoned.
Yeah,
Mm.
Like check to see if you poison
Yanti
yourself.
dropping to the worst race imaginable because you have disadvantage on
Mhm.
everything all the time because you're always poisoned and sick.
Mm.
Now we kind of go crazy as a character design though.
Just like a really sickly
Maybe
lizard.
we'll come back to
Yeah.
allergic to cats.
Constant snuffly nose.
You've got a
eared up
defect
eye.
where they're allergic.
Yeah, you're actually like, you know,
Okay.
you can get half elves and half you're a half Yanti. You got the poison but not the resistance.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be
It's like
really
Toyo
rough.
Todoroki by Yanti. Severely diseased.
Theo,
Yes.
do you have manacles on this ship? Or I mean, we could use rope if we're trying to look.
We have a
Trying to look
cell
like
area. I'm
lizard
sure we
prisoners.
should have some kind of manacles.
You've seen people be manacled. You don't have like extensive collections of them, but you've probably got like 6 or 7 on board.
Yeah, we have some, probably.
We might want to look a little damaged. Anyone up for a fight?
I'll take you up on that.
I will too. That'll be fun.
I'd rather not. I'm sure we have some makeup that we could add cuts and bruises.
Well, if we
to.
have makeup, then more of us can probably. I've got a better chance of looking like a drow. I'm already a half elf. I'm already an elf. Yeah, I'm already an elf.
You could
Yeah,
be
you-
an albino drow.
Say you're a
He still
drow
gets his
albino.
race wrong.
Like really, you've got like white hair. You could pass. Just
You've
be
got
like,
like
I'm
a skin
albino.
condition or something.
Yeah.
All right,
Needle.
yeah.
Needle, make me a wisdom check.
Wisdom.
Yeah,
Just a check.
just a check.
Was that piece of information so wrong?
19.
You would know that anyone with a skin defect in Drow society would usually be shunned.
Okay.
Like if you don't
Probably
look like Lolth, that's not a
Yeah.
great sight. It's not a great start to
Mm.
life for Lolth to pick you out and be like, "Hey, you don't get to look like me."
Would they make better spies?
In what way?
Like you know when they send spies to the surface and stuff.
Yeah.
Would they get chosen more often because they don't look as drowy?
Probably not. Probably they just would not be trusted.
Yeah.
Cool.
And
So it is
remember,
I'm getting the vibe check.
one of Lolth's like big things is illusion magic. So most drow wouldn't look like drow on the surface anyway, just because they would have some sort of natural illusion magic. Like even clerics of Lolth tend to have like disguise self, tend to have seeming, which is another big spell.
Okay, Theodore.
You know,
how much makeup do you have on the ship?
Does anyone else know Undercommon?
No.
Let me double check that.
Because you could pretend to be disguise self already. Or you could just be like, yeah, I'm a drow, I'm just disguise self right now.
Oh, I could use disguise self.
Yeah, man, I'm just so in character all of the time.
Yeah.
No vulnerability.
You could teach
Ruby
yourself a few
pretended to
phrases.
be an elf for a long time.
That's true, she did do that.
Yeah. Well,
Actually, anyone could do that, really.
yeah, so just
Languages.
Or these two.
about the makeup, we could probably ask around. Look,
They don't have undercommon.
I'm sure someone has makeup on the ship.
Does anyone have access to the spell Tongues?
Uh,
Tongues makes you speak in the language of the person you're talking to. Like, regardless of, like, say you were in a room filled with everyone from any race, if you cast Tongues, they all hear their birth language when you talk.
Nice.
No.
That's such a good use of it. Oh my god. I've just got Eyes of Runekeeper all the time.
Yeah.
But I've not got Tongues.
I think Tongues is Wizard, Warlock, Bard, and Sorcerer get access to it. I'm not sure Clerics do.
Who knows Elfish?
I do.
You could pretend to be an elf of some sort. Maybe.
He is an elf.
Well,
I know Elfish.
Tiso doesn't have to pretend. Tiso's an elf.
Yeah.
Hello guys, it is me, an elf. Yeah, I can see that.
No.
Hello, fellow elf.
We can at least convince them we're of an elven variety, all of us, if we all know elven.
I think
I
the
don't
best is
think
probably
the
to just...
horns
If
and tail are
there's,
going to convince people I'm an elf.
if there's makeup,
I will remind
just...
Soren that tieflings are elven blood mixed with the either demonic or devilish ancestry. So there are drow tieflings. They would be like purple-skinned tieflings would be sometimes drow, but then also the purple could come from the devil side or the demon side. So you know that your heritage is wood elf. But there's no necessarily any reason why people would say, oh, look at that person and they're definitely wood elvish. You just know that you've got some sylvan blood in you.
I think the best
suggestion. Another suggestion, I could speak Undercommon and pretend you understand me.
Yes, that's possible.
That could also be fun.
Or you can...
Only if it becomes necessary, though.
You can always also message me whatever they're saying if they're speaking to me.
I can! That's true!
You could pretend to be mute.
Well, yeah. I think the best is probably, if we find any makeup on here, I'll put my hood up, paint my skin purple, and that's probably an equivalent of something.
Guys, I'm not sure if I want the purple face here.
I will say Theodore looks mostly human.
Yeah.
Like there are a couple distinguishing features. His eyes would set him apart. Theodore, your eyes are different, aren't they?
Yeah.
But other than that, when he's hiding his wings,
we just have everyone else as prisoners.
Only his eyes would change.
I think regardless of what we decide, at least some of us should pretend to be prisoners in case
I think
there's a chance of
there's
getting
no
into the prison.
reality other than illusion magics that will take the fur and muzzle from Brochan.
Yeah.
That would not be a make-up job to make
Yeah.
him look elven. You would have to shave and deform his face.
Please
It's
don't
up to
make
you, Soren.
I mean, the tattoos have you looking pretty mean, child. I think you're okay.
I can lend you some clothing if you want Soren to have
Yeah.
some black clothing.
Yeah, if we look rugged enough, we'll look like criminals anyway, but, like, we don't need to be necessarily with the church. We just need to be, like, not opposed to them looking.
Just as a small reminder of an item that you guys all received a long while ago. You do have armor that changes, and I will remind you. I think the person that's wearing it is you, but you don't get a magical armor bonus, and you can always change your clothes. If you were to wear just normal leather armor and use your disguise self, you would have exactly the same feature, and someone else would gain access to the changing of clothes.
Oh, true.
Just as a reminder, you get the bonus from that is only aesthetic, and you get it for free constantly all the time anyway.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to give someone leather armor that was able to look like whatever you wanted, because it was Maynarch that was using it so that his full armor looked like monk's robes.
Yeah. I don't mind going swapsies.
Are you muted, Vinny? I see your lips moving, but you're just muttering to yourself.
Yeah, the fucking Maynarch.
I'm gonna put you up at full volume, my guy. There we go.
I think I might have gave my armor, my original armor, to someone else. But if someone wants the glamored one, I can swap, and then you'll be able to disguise yourself a little bit.
Yeah, because what is it? It's studded leather, isn't it? So it sets your AC to 13.
Yeah.
Plus your dexterity. So someone like Tiso, who's really dexterous, you've got what, +4 to dexterity?
Yeah. +1 bonus to armor class.
So it's +1, so it would be 14.
Okay. How about?
So it would be, if Tiso was wearing it, his AC would jump to 18.
Ooh.
If and I think the only other person dex based would be Soren.
Yeah.
But I don't remember off the top of my head what their bonus is.
Yeah. Wearing it right now, I'm at 15.
Yeah, because you're not that dexterous.
Yeah, I've got mage armor though, but I'm using it on breaking at all times.
Yes. I will remind you, how about... mage armor's not concentration.
Ooh.
So
can I just go up? I should have done that.
it would cost you both your spell slots, but you regain spell slots after an hour rest, which means for an 8-hour spell, you could cast mage armor on both of you, take a 1-hour rest, have both your spell slots, and have mage armor running on both of you.
What if it's a cantrip?
Cantrips don't cost spell slots, so you just...
Yeah, I've got it at will. I can just
so there you go. So you don't spend a spell slot. So you can... Technically, you can cast it on the whole party. It's just it would only affect people that don't wear armor already.
Cool.
And I am wearing armor.
Who would like studded armor?
I'm good, thank you, because I already...
Disguisey. It's magical.
How about we have Soren with a hood on as your co-drow person? Yeah. I can have my black clothes and elfness as just your slave, and then Brochan and Theo as prisoners.
The only thing I have is, will I still be able to carry my hammer if I'm a prisoner?
Probably not.
Yeah.
I could carry it for you as a slave.
Roll me an intelligence check if you want to figure that out, Needle.
Also, I would prefer to be
some
kind of prisoner or slave if it means I'm going to get into a jail cell.
I think if you have the armor, you can hide your weapon. I think. 10.
On a 10, you have seen people with slave warriors. there is a class of people that are like gladiators in that way of they're trained, but also definitely still slaved. Usually, what would happen is they would have on a collar that would mark them as property. So they would be treated as second-class citizens, as slaves. They would not be respected in any capacity, and they would have no legal rights in any capacity other than as your property. So whatever legal actions you take would reflect on them if they're your property.
And how about...
If that's the case, we could just all wear collars.
It would not be unheard of for one drow to have like an entourage of like 5 people following them, all of them in collars.
Okay, let's do that. That's probably the best. And how about we keep one person as prisoner and use that as a story of we need to lead them to the prisoner Oscar, because they know each other and we need them to tell each other something. I don't know. Maybe there's a way we can be led directly to Oscar's cell.
Yeah, if I pretend you're prisoners, we can maybe get to a dungeon. I was thinking as well, if someone takes this, if I swap armor with someone can disguise self to have a collar using the armor, because you can change your clothes with it.
If someone would like to wear that armor, they can set it so that armor looks like they are wearing slave clothes with a big collar. You will still feel the weight of the armor on you, and you'll still have the physical properties of it, but it just won't look like that. Theoretically speaking, you could have it like if you wanted to really play the part, you could be wearing like nothing but ragged trousers, bare feet, and a collar.
You could be covered in blood,
be fully clothed.
Because it's color, style, and accessories. So accessories can also be blood.
Okay. I'd say the prisoner needs to be Brocken or Soren. Or Soren. Jesus, that was interesting.
Well, I will remind everybody that Brocken loses access to a vast majority of their character. Like, if Brocken's wearing armor, they cannot move as fast. They lose 10 feet of movement. They lose the +2 to strength. They lose the ability to take half damage, and they lose the ability to use reckless attack.
Soren's just said he wants to be in a cell, which is...
Well, I don't want to be in a cell. I would rather, like, if someone's going to get into Oscar's cell or close to it, I would rather see and make sure he's alive. But I trust you guys to do that too. It's just...
Yeah.
Yeah, what armor do you have, Soren?
Like, my armor, my AC is 18.
Your actual armor. Is it just leather?
Leather armor.
Yeah, take my armor.
So what would happen in that trade, Soren? You would gain. Where's your armor at the moment? You've got scale.
God, I don't know.
You've got scale, which is
leather.
Which is medium armor, which I think you are still proficient with if you wanted to swap. Let me just double check.
Yeah.
So you would keep 18.
Okay, so Soren is our prisoner. We need to bring him to Oscar's cell because he knows Oscar, and they we need to extract information from either of them, and there's something they can only tell each other. I don't know, something along those lines.
Or you can use us against each other.
Yeah, we need some reason to be led to Oscar's cell because we have no idea where to start. And us three, Brocken, Theo, and I, can just be your slaves, your entourage. Does that sound good? Let's fucking do this.
Wait, who's taking magic armor so I can remove it? Is anyone taking it?
I'm not, because I've already got armor.
I mean, I can, but if we're going the prisoner route, there's no need for me to change clothes or anything. The only thing that would be helpful would be hiding my weapons, which would the armor would do that, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Mantles are rope.
And you can make it that you're wearing a collar if you wanted. and blood.
Yeah.
Like you
Yeah,
can make
that
yourself
works.
look fucked up.
Yeah, that's a good idea. It avoids needing to
Okay.
fight again. Fight, Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. I'll trade that then.
I will remind Needle that wearing
Yeah.
scale mail will mean that you have disadvantage to all stealth.
Okay. I could use mage armor instead, maybe.
Have
You
I
could.
been supposed to be rolling with disadvantage to myself this entire time? Because I've not been doing that.
Yeah, you have a note on your character that should be stealth is always disadvantaged. There's a D next to it.
Okay.
Whoops.
So
Not been doing that. Sorry.
Yeah. Iona, you can add glamoured studded leather to your inventory then. It's got an actual little page.
Okay.
It'll tell you what it
Okay, I can
does. I'll unequip that. Boop. We go.
Okay.
And
Then
then
I
we'll
hate
set
having to add new things to my inventory.
If you hit refresh, I've added it for you.
Oh my god! Thank you. You're a
Yay!
person.
Makeup.
What a good DM.
I do think that you need to attune to it. No, you don't. You don't.
Oh, awesome.
Right.
So
What do I need
you've actually got an upgrade because your armor has stayed exactly the same, but you've lost your disadvantage. So you are
Nice.
equally as hard to hit, but you are now sneakier.
Nice. That'll be helpful.
What do I need to do for mage armor, by the way? I've not done it on myself before.
You just go into your actual AC, and if you click on that, there should be an option that says Add Magical Bonus.
Uh-huh.
And it sets it from 10 to 13, so you just add 3 artificially.
Okay.
Yeah, so your AC will remain 15.
Cool.
Okay.
There we
I'm
go.
going to use the armor to hide my weapons and make myself look a bit roughed up, but I still think if we want to do like manacles or rope or something, it should be physical, so that it's believable.
Yeah, you could do collar.
Not that I don't, but like... I mean, I could.
Accessories.
But
let's do a rope and
I
make
assume
sure
if I'm a
cut.
prisoner, you'd be like leading me somewhere, so I assumed like manacles with like a chain. Unless you want to lead me around.
It could be a magic collar, though. If it looks magical enough, it might be like a I explode kind of thing.
It's something you could
like in One Piece.
Explode.
I've not seen One Piece.
You
Some
could
In One
have
Piece, they have that.
Soren.
What were you saying, Bix?
You could have transform, make you look
Ooh,
make you look worse.
spooky.
I might leave that as like a that might be more helpful if I'm already in a jail cell to like bust out. If they already know I can do that, they probably won't.
No, that's fair.
Cool. I'm gonna use the armor, and I'll put like a collar and manacles like attached to each other. I guess.
Yeah.
Has anyone got any?
But as an
guidance?
illusion, so if like the chain passes through your body, if you put your arms down by your sides, sort of thing.
Cool. We're gonna need actual manacles.
You can make them look like magical manacles.
That's still not gonna help.
Maybe that's why they do it.
I will say, Needle, having seen these slaves in person, they do not have to be chained up or manacled, especially the warrior class. It would be a huge inconvenience to unbuckle someone if they were, like, defending you.
But if I'm supposed to be their prisoner...
Yes, prisoner is different, but if you're just going for flat-out slave warrior, then...
No, we've got that for Brock and me and yeah.
Okay, I'm just going to take out some rope to tie my wrists with when we get into the Underdark.
Let's just almost fully cut one bit of it so you can wrench free if needed.
I'm sure I can
do that too. I suppose we can always cut it for you.
Theodore's also a sailor.
I'm going to have my sword.
If you wanted a knot that would be quick release.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Oh,
that's a good idea.
When we get actually like into the Underdark or like close to it, then Theo can tie up my wrists
Yeah.
and stuff.
Okay. And
Make it
does
look
anyone
believable.
have like guidance or whatnot so that when we're convincing people that that this is our prisoner and that we are Needle's slaves, that we don't fully fuck up that interaction?
I have guidance.
I
but
will-
It,
Or
it's
guidance
a
of
spell. It requires a verbal component.
Yeah, I will remind people that guidance is verbal and somatic. So what happens
sure,
if
yeah,
you're...
but we can cast it before, no?
It only lasts a minute. That's what I was going to say.
Ah.
So you can cast it a minute before you go in somewhere, but it is very much like we're having a conversation. I cast big spell magic. We're having a conversation.
Yes.
We're having a conversation. So people will notice you doing it. Whether that's of violent intention, you don't know.
I don't care anyways. We'll just beat the shit out of anyone if there's any issues. But just trying to
Honestly,
take
that would be
precautions.
rewarded. It's not out there to
Yeah.
just beat people up.
There is also a part of Needle that's like, if we get stopped at a border checkpoint and kill everyone on that checkpoint, when we get further into the city, all we have to do is say, hey, your incompetent fuckwit guards couldn't stop me from coming in. I have business in the city. I'm here to do stuff. They tried to stop me. I slaughtered them. Find new guardsmen, you incompetent fuck.
Especially if they're men.
Yeah, like...
I like it.
There's also a reality where
Your men are pathetic.
you kill the police people there, and then everyone's like, "Oh God, thank Christ you done that." That could have been real bad if you had bad intentions. So we'll replace them immediately.
Okay,
Thank God
fair
you're
enough
not
then.
some kind of
Some
spy that
statement
would
murder.
break in and kill the police. That could have been dodged the bullet.
Probably the opposite would be true. Thank God you are some sort of spy that can break in and kill all these police for us.
We needed to make now at least we know that we need to change that. Okay.
Also, I can do anything I want now that the police are gone, so I do thank you for that.
Okie dokie.
So as you
Stop saying okie dokie.
guys disembark from the ship, you watch as the ship slowly starts lumbering its way off, regaining height and regaining its previous speed. You watch as it scoots off into the distance, and you are left. You are left on a. You are left on a coastline that is very much like British countryside. You're by the ocean. You can taste the spray of the salt as the cliffs collide with the waves. And you are left here.
Episode.
Essentially a beach episode, although
Oh,
a very cold weathered beach episode.
A beach episode featuring slavery.
No!
Aww.
Yeah. So just to recap, Soren, you look like a prisoner. So you're wearing no armor. You've got the collar. You've got bracelets on.
Yep.
And you are
hiding my weapons as well.
You're just in like shit slave clothes.
Yeah. If it can make me look beaten up as well, I'll do that. But if not,
Well, you if you wanted,
I'll just run into a wall.
If you wanted to, if you wanted to be topless by appearance, you would choose the shape and look and color of your body. Because theoretically, what you could do is wear this armor and then have the glamour up that you are just completely naked, but like supermodel level of what you used to be. You know what I mean? Like theoretically, you can design what you want to look like. So if you want to look emaciated, beaten, scarred, bleeding, you can.
Yeah, because
I might do that then. Like remove the shirt, but I'll just look like myself with all the scars and stuff.
Yeah.
So
I think this is probably the first time most of you have seen Soren topless, and they are fully scarred and bruised, and yeah.
It's also the first time everyone's seen my bite mark, which is fun.
Yeah, that's
it
true.
covers like the entirety
Where's your
of my
bite
shoulder.
mark?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like between my neck and my shoulder, and it's like quite big because I was quite young when I got it, so it like goes from like my arm round, like my
Big chomp.
that area. Big chomp.
But you can use the armor to do accessories, so you could do like blood splatters as accessories.
Yeah.
And like wounds as accessories. And you could also do like Lolf clothing if you wanted to do Lolf clothing. Like
I don't think the prisoner should wear loft clothing.
Yeah,
but,
you got options. And it's
I might look a little bit bruised and dirty.
Yeah, I'll remind you it's at will, so if you want to drop this at any point, it only takes 6 seconds of thinking about it to be like, cool, change that. But it also, theoretically, you could change your skin colour with it, you just couldn't change your face because you don't have a helmet.
Mm.
You can make your eyes red.
I'm fine. I just leave myself as I am, look a bit more bruised and dirty, but yeah, that's it.
I think Needle, the only thing that is coming across to you as is going to be a problem, even with all of this, you've never seen a slave wear angelic plate mail. Which I think is probably going to be Theodore's biggest thing, is that he has a huge symbol of the god of peace and justice.
Yeah.
Emblazoned on his gigantic, sparkling, shiny, angelic armour.
Why was this not brought up earlier?
Maybe
I thought
that you could be a good prisoner because you're so good.
I will say, if you want to go down the route of, hey, this guy's been captured, and like you know that Theo has some sort of curse on him in regards to, at minimum, taking damage. Theo, I believe I'm correct in saying you cannot disarmor yourself completely.
I don't think I can.
Yeah, so it is bonded to him. So you could have that route of, we couldn't get the damn thing off, but we've still beaten him.
Nice.
It's like me and my colleagues found this weird guy and we can't get his armor off.
Yeah.
That's why I got such a big group.
Extra prisoner then.
We could tie him to me with the rope.
Yeah. Excellent.
How's Needle feeling about... There is a reality where Needle comes back to their home city, suddenly with an entourage of clearly a successful raid, clearly a successful capturing of some things. There is a good reality where Needle is welcomed back in a way of like, hey, you've got money now, you're part of upper society.
I think Needle's feeling a lot of feelings right now.
Yeah.
She has a lot of feelings. Mainly about Antioch, actually. But that's all I'm saying, unless someone does insight. But like, yeah, she's got a lot of feelings. It's what I'm saying.
Does she look like any different on the outside than in the inside? Like, does she like look any different to normal? Like, does she look upset or anything?
Well, she's went full cultist again.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm full cultist, but with the space hat still. Maybe I disguise myself to make the hat look more,
culty.
Yeah, more culty.
Cult hat.
Old allegiance.
Well, you know that the Drow live underground, so would have almost no concept of the stars, and that they know they exist, but to look up and see the night sky, people would be like, "Oh, weird. There's no cave. What do you do? There's no like."
That's not glow lichen.
Yeah, essentially, they'd be like, "That's not a crystal formation." How do you turn off the light at night?
I feel like one thing I was gonna do, because I thought about this. Needle has disguised self to make her eyes look red again.
Oh yeah.
It's a good note.
Yeah, so she notably has hidden that, and then she's also re-hidden the scar that she's got on her eye.
Okay.
So she
good
looks a
note.
bit more...
Put together.
Yeah.
Drow speaking.
Yeah.
Random point before we move on, did I hallucinate a door squeaking or was it a cat meowing?
It's the cat meowing in the background.
I knew it! I recognised him!
He's trying to get into Vinny's room, I think.
Oh, baby.
Oh,
I miss him.
But yes. So, it is around 6 o'clock as you guys arrive here, so you are...
Let him in! Sorry.
Oh.
Don't let him into your room, Vinny. He's just going to leave cat hair everywhere. Your asthma doesn't need it.
Sorry.
I think you're muted,
night.
Vinny.
Yeah, I am.
Oh.
Doesn't help that I'm allergic to cats as well.
Yeah.
Oh.
But yes, it is around 6 o'clock. The sun is starting to set, although I'm not sure if you would view that as a priority given your destination. Needle would know that there are designated times where the light is dimmed down below. But, again, there's kind of always dim light everywhere in the Underdark as opposed to bright sunlight. So there's no real societal implication of, oh, we're leaving at 1 a.m, everyone's going to be asleep. It's unlikely because people just kind of go about their day based on when they're awake. And given that Drow don't really sleep either, it's kind of like a 4-hour meditation.
Okay. Big step.
So, as you guys go around, I will need a either nature or investigation check to re-find the hidden entrance to the Underdark in these craggy cave systems.
Oh.
For
me?
From anyone that would like to try and lead the way.
Investigation. Investigation for me.
15.
I have clicked and it hasn't worked.
Wonderful.
It might double. That's fucking...
Were you dissatisfied with your result?
Yes, it was a 10. Sorry, did you not hear?
No, I didn't hear the 10, sorry. So on a 15, it takes you a good hour and a half sort of going along this coastline. It was a good few years that you left this cave. So it takes you a while to find it, but around 7:30, coming up to 8 o'clock, you are able to successfully find your cave into the Underdark, and you begin your path down. So I'm going to need everyone that's making checks here, and I will remind everybody that although you're coming up to nighttime, if you were to walk through the night, it would be points of exhaustion because you've been up all day travelling. So it's up to you whether you want to try and make the journey tonight, risking exhaustion, or take your long rest either outside the caves or inside the caves. What's the plan?
I would like to, if we're taking a long rest, to do it outside of the caves.
Yeah, let's do that. I think it's probably best.
Don't pretend to be a prisoner.
I think we're going to need to be proper prepared with no exhaustion for these coming events.
Yeah.
Perhaps it's for the best.
So
everyone's fucking frozen again.
As you guys settle down for your long rest for the night, I'm going to need our first strain continent long rest roll. Who would like to roll me a D100?
And first of 2025 as well.
Yeah, and the very first one of 2025. Way to date the episode.
Hey.
Who's going to bite the bullet?
Can I do it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Broken child's time. That sounds so wrong.
52.
52.
I'm feeling 52.
Oh God.
I'm gonna need
Stop laughing.
I'm gonna need the entire party
Oh,
to roll me a
God.
Constitution saving throw.
Oh, fuck's sake.
Uh-oh.
Really?
Acid rain. It rains.
14.
Oh. 10.
19.
17.
The DC is 15. So everyone that
Uh-oh.
rolled
Oh, God.
lower than 15.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Aye, that's
Yeah,
me.
I saw that.
Was that a natural one from our good friend Tiso?
There's a 4.
I miss my dice so much, man. This sucks. I want my dice back.
So to recap, that's 3 failures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nearby to where the players are resting for this evening, as you're all taking turns taking watch, as you're all staying up, making sure that you're well guarded for the evening, there is a small crack that appears in the stone near you all, and from it sulphurous gas begins pouring out onto the party.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Everyone who
Oh,
failed their check is unable to sleep as they are coughing, wheezing, red-eyed for the rest of the evening.
Guys, why didn't we just move camp?
Oofed.
Your long rest is
Kitty
interrupted.
cat.
Let me just open the door to see if the cat will
Yes.
come in.
Yes. Give me the kitty cat.
Is
Oh,
that
I miss him
poison?
so. Sulfur
It's
kind of.
sulfur.
I've got resistance against poison because of my cloak. I don't know when it becomes applicable.
I mean, sulfur is like a noxious gas, so I don't know if it would count as like poison. I mean,
Gas.
it's poisonous to you, but I don't know.
Little bitty kitty cat. Little
Oh,
bitty kitty.
a little guy.
Come in, itty bitty boy. Snacks for the boy. I miss him so much, it hurts.
You guys just need to get a flat,
No.
and then we can do this in
Yeah.
person again and not have to
It's
deal with my terrible laptop issues.
Yeah, I'd really like to have a fixed address again. It would be nice. Excellent.
The way you said
they
that
were-
made it sound like you were just homeless.
Well,
But-
I'm like, I don't have a fixed address. Like, I'm living with my
know.
grandparents and currently living with a friend.
Oh yeah, is
Um,
resistance against poison useful in that situation? Or is it not a poison?
No, it's not a poison, it's just the physical inhalation.
Cool.
So
See,
it
okay.
interrupts the long rest. You can either continue to take your long rest here or move camp, which will reset
move camp.
the long rest timer.
yeah, let's do that.
Let's scooch over a bit. I
Take a
don't want to
move.
sleep now.
Big
Excellent.
oops.
You guys finish your long rest after
Thanks for that roll, Brock.
after an eventful evening. So it's around 10 o'clock the next day that you all finish your long rests. Who would like to make? Although it is not going to be super impactful, the chances are, or weather roll for the day. Because the Underdark has no weather, but
Wait.
the Underdark does have the planal connections. It does have the, like, you can still roll for the weak points, you can still roll for the wild magics, you can still roll for all that sort of stuff. So who would like to roll the D100 for that?
Okay, I'm gonna roll that one. Unless it's Vinny doing it.
Up to you. You can do it if you want.
Cool. I shall. That way, if our long rest was almost interrupted, then at least the weather can be fucked over because of me. 1d100.
Da-na-na-na.
Tiso has frozen entirely.
Yeah, Tiso's freezing a lot. Tiso's fucking tablet is struggling because it's overheating and the Wi-Fi is bad, and like there's a bunch of stuff that I've missed from you guys because you keep freezing, and like I'm catching up with it. But yeah, did you get the 21?
21. So,
Yes.
uneventfully, there is dark skies, fast wind, and heavy rain.
Okay,
However,
excellent.
you are about to enter a cave system. So there's silver lining is there's nothing. You're not rolled for any kind of planar connection. There's no strange phenomenon going on today. It's just naturally terrible weather.
Oh.
So, as you guys make your way into the cave systems, I'm going to need navigation checks. So, who would like to lead the way, and which order are you walking through the caves?
I think it's probably a bad idea if me or Theo lead the way since we're acting as prisoners, so I'll hang back.
Would I get any advantage since I've been here before?
I will say,
Or would it...
I'll say roll me a history check. If you beat a 10, I'll give you advantage on your navigation.
Cool.
Just because it was a couple of years ago, but there's a good chance. It's not...
8!
It's a straight roll.
Oh.
Cool.
On an
What's
8...
the navigation?
It would be nature or investigation.
Right.
Or survival would work as well for like your ability to track things through the woods or whatever.
I could do survival.
As well, there is a part of Needle that knows the Drow is a secret society. They don't want people invading and coming down and stumbling into these things. So there are changes made to some of the cave system. Like if someone discovers it, they change the path.
Good to know.
So who would like to make that roll? The survival, nature, or investigation?
So we decided on Needle, yeah?
Yeah, I could do survival.
Wonderful. Roll me a survival check.
Boop. Haha. 8.
An 8. You guys wander for a good 4 hours through the caverns, and you come to an area where you've got, like, after taking their left and right choices, after about your 5th left and right choice, you walk for about 10 minutes and come to a complete dead end.
For fuck's sake.
This seems wrong.
It's been a few years.
Oh god. How about we just break through walls? I've got Cloud Giant strength. Just get it to rock.
Can we get a recap on who has dark vision and who doesn't as well?
I do.
I
I believe. Actually, let me double check that.
I have 120 feet.
You definitely,
I do.
You definitely have the best dark vision of the party, Needle. Your eyes grant you double dark vision, so you get. Everyone else will have a maximum of 60 feet. You get 120, and you retain full color in your dark vision, whereas everyone else drops to black and white.
I will say, I have cartography tools. Can I can we get any advantages?
I'll give you advantage on not taking the wrong path again from stuff that you've marked. So what we'll do is we'll say that because of your cartography tools, you know this is the incorrect way. I will lower the DC by 2.
Yay! Excellent. Finally, they're useful.
Okay, can I? Whoever's going to lead the way, can I cast guidance on them?
Yes, you can. Let me just pause the recording here and deal with the cat.
Oh, Mort.
I'll be back in a minute.
I've been using Witch Bolt wrong.
I want you to know, I restarted the recording just as you said, oh my god, I've been using Witch Bolt wrong.
I'm just reading my spells and I was like, wait. Oh, that's good. Okay, I'm going to use that way more.
Yeah, it's a great spell.
Holy shit. I thought it was like Eldritch Blast, but flavored.
Body.
Oh, it's so cool.
He's gonna just be complaining the entire time.
Yay! I love hearing his little meow.
So yes, you are very chaotic session today.
Yes. Well, we need to get back into
We'll
the
get
flow.
back into it. It won't be bad at all. And then yes, so you guys are navigating. I'm going to need that next check.
With the DC that's too low and advantage from guidance. Or is
Not
it plus
advantage,
4
it's
from
plus
guidance?
1d4.
Plus 1d4, yeah.
Yes. So who would like to make that check?
I've been rolling terribly this session, so I don't trust my not having my dice.
Is it
What were
investigation?
we rolling?
It could be investigation, nature, or survival.
Who's got the highest?
I've got 4 for survival.
Got
Ooh.
plus investigation.
Mm.
I think Tiso's
So it might actually
investigation
be
is
me.
higher than everyone else's anything.
Yeah. I thought it was 9 though. At some point it was 9. I don't know why it's 6.
I had
now.
that with intimidation.
Can you hear
It
him
went
just
down.
grumbling in the
Mm.
background?
Mm,
Okay, as long as it's not,
Oh,
as
I
long
must
as it's
have
not being
changed
picked
something.
up, because he's
maybe.
very aggressive.
Okay, I'll do it. I'll do it. Investigation. Let's go. Oh,
18
don't fail me now. Well, that's not so bad. That's an 18 plus 1d4.
plus
Plus
1d4.
1d4 is here. Roll that. That's 4. Nice. So
Wonderful.
that's 22.
So the
So I think
DC
we probably passed the.
the DC was 20, and then it was lowered by 2 to 18. So you absolutely pass with a 22. So as you're navigating, oh, Tiso has frozen.
Oh no.
Oh,
Fuck's
that's rough,
sake,
buddy.
Tiso. Get your act together.
Wonderful.
Found it, it
Tiso,
was
I think Tiso's back.
vanished.
Huge.
He's not reacting.
It's a jet
What
lag.
was that again?
I was saying Tiso's froze, but
Yeah, no,
you're
I
back
I
now.
didn't. I missed the past. I passed 15 seconds of that. I
Yes.
didn't hear anything.
No problem. So as you guys are making your way through the tunnels,
What was the DC?
the DC was 20, then it was lowered by 2 to 18.
Nice. Excellent.
So with a 22, you absolutely pass. And there are some
Yay.
occasions where Needle is leading the way and is blatantly trying to retake the same path to that dead end again. And you're like,
Which
no,
is
hold on, we have
fucking-
tried
no.
that one. We have with that one's not.
No.
We know
You're
that's
just having
incorrect.
nightmare flashbacks
Yeah.
getting lost in the tunnels.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a very common thing for Drow to just be gone. Just to try and go somewhere and be lost.
Are there any skeletons around?
You don't see any signs of any skeletons or any dead things on your way
So
through.
nothing to loot.
Nothing
Sad.
to loot, no.
Oh, we didn't check for traps.
No, you didn't. And as you're not navigating through, you start to see evidence of it's no longer natural tunnel leading down to a darker place. You start to see evidence of things like the floor being smoothed out. Things like inclines, instead of just being a steep incline, you start to see stairs. You start to see the walls becoming a lot smoother and more maintained, and eventually you start seeing crystals and sconces actually providing guiding light to the areas that need guidance. And eventually you come across a large opening into a cavernous space, which Needle would recognise as their hometown, which I don't think we ever got a name for. Needle, if you would like to name your hometown as it is part of your backstory.
Holy shit, this is so much. Okay. I don't know. It's got an orphanage.
It does. Yeah. It's got to have an orphanage.
I'm gonna call it the Arachnid's Cradle.
You
That sounds sick.
you enter into the
That's gonna be a
Arachnid's
great-
Cradle.
A great episode title.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like how spider legs do this when they die. Yeah.
So you start
That's
to
so
see the striations in the rock of stalactites and stalagmites and that forming of that spiderous chrysalis. And you start to see people walking around. You start to see drow, mostly female people, walking around in their fine silken clothing. You start to see a lot of exposed skin. There is minimal covering on most of the societal members. Anyone who seems to have any kind of importance is wearing the lightest silks, as thin as they can get, covering as much as they can get away with not covering. And you come across...
I'm gonna like really...
Sorry, on you go.
Sorry, I was just gonna say I'm gonna hand the rope that is tied to me to Needle, so I'm not carrying it myself. Just before we enter into society.
And we've got
Yes.
the quick release knot.
Yeah, so before we enter,
If you would like to
I
make
will have
quick release knots,
not-
that would be dexterity, or sleight of hand, that would be...
I'm not tying it.
With advantage. With advantage if you're Theo.
Well, it's both +2.
But with advantage.
With advantage. Might as well try. 10.
10. Yeah, so you get 2 fairly decent.
Everyone's bugged again.
Anyone that would be able to, like, anyone that knows good knot tying would look at them and recognise the knots. They're not hidden quick release knots, but they are definitely, to the layman, they would all look like you are manacled together.
Cool.
Okay.
So, as you progress forward, you eventually come up to what would pass for a drow border check, in that there is armed militia in what would be a bottleneck from the smaller cave into the larger cavern. You see that there are heavily armed slaves. They are tied by the ankles to stakes in the ground that all have overlapping radius, so that none of them can leave their post at all, and are all bound to be there. You can see most of them are wearing just simple trousers made of like rough spun cotton. They look battered, bruised, abused, and you can see one overlord in the group, which is a heavily armoured drow female wearing full plate mail, carrying a large barbed nine-tailed whip. And as you approach, all of the slaves come to attention. What were you saying?
I was gonna say just before we're in like the earshot.
Yeah.
Just gonna like whisper to Needle. Okay, something along the lines of to torture Soren more efficiently. You're bringing him to Oscar, right? Like the something along those lines.
Oh, to get information out of Oscar vibes.
Yeah, Oscar or Soren, but just to have them facing each other and threatening one and the other to like extract information. I don't know. You probably know these things better than I do, but just so we have some kind of cover story.
Okay, I can work with that.
Okay. So that's all. And then I guess Tiso's just like standing behind Needle. Maybe standing, I think actually Tiso will stand at the back of the group as the slave that I guess is like keeping check of the back.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah.
Is the place we're coming from Titan's Fist? Or is
Titan's Rock.
Titan's
Okay.
Rock.
Cool.
Titan's Fist being the organization.
Yes.
Oh. Good.
So the Titan's Fist is the name of the military organization.
Okay.
That
lives on
Oscar
Titan's
is
Rock.
from, right?
No.
As a part of-
Oscar is
no?
part of the Giant's Hammer.
Right. Fuck. You. Okay.
I did not make up the concept of complicated fantasy names.
No, that's fine. It's just yes. Okay,
Here
the
you
Giant's
go.
Hammer for Oscar. Cool.
So,
Fine.
as you make your way over there, you are approached by the drow in armour, and she salutes you and says, "Mistress, are you returning home for business or for a personal trip?"
I'd say a little bit of both. I say an undercommon.
Oh,
I'm
you
here
are.
to-
Incidentally, they are only speaking undercommon.
Yeah.
So the rest of the party would not hear this.
A little bit of both, you could say. I have this one. I gesture towards Soren with my head. We have a prisoner here. I've been told by Ruby. Up at what do they call it? Titans Rock. Sorry. I was told that Ruby, who's stationed there, that this one has quite the relationship with the person she's impersonating. I believe their name's Oscar. And we wanted to get some information out of him.
So
I thought I'd bring this one.
You are seeking the High Priestesses to further the invasion plans. Very well. You may enter. I will remind you that you are fully responsible for the actions of your cattle, and if you are leading them through the city, if they cause any trouble, they will be summarily executed.
Oh, don't worry, I'll handle that.
Very well. And then in common, you all hear, stick to the paths and allow these people entry. And then in undercommon, to you specifically, Needle, you will need to brand these as soon as possible.
Understood. Come along. I keep walking.
What does everyone do when they are commanded to come along?
We follow.
I go. I mean, I'm
I'm
tied up to Needle, so
I'm not gonna fuck up that.
I don't have a choice.
It's going so
Sadly,
smoothly so
look
far.
at the slave. I walk by. I really want to save you. I'm so sorry.
As you are sadly looking at the slaves, you watch as the drow unbuckles her whip from her side and says, in undercommon, this one's eyes are wandering. Keep him in line.
Well, there.
Cool, staring at the ground then.
As you progress through the city, you are greeted with a very comforting sight for Needle. This is Drow society at its core. You start seeing streets that you recognise. You start seeing shops and businesses selling things that you've not seen since your childhood. You start to see like street vendors that are selling all of your local foods. You start to see clothes that are the style and fashion that you're used to. All the people here are Drow, other than the large population of the city that appears to be slaves. A vast majority of them do appear to be gnomish or tiefling. You would know that gnomish slaves are traditionally kept because of their inventiveness. They're quite good with physical tools. They're quite good in the way that dwarfs are great with stonework. Gnomes are really usually traditionally quite useful for things like tinkering, all the little delicate like gear work and things like that of their various things are famous worldwide, so they're quite prized as slaves. And tieflings are generally known to be violent, unhinged, uncivilized, so they're really well kept as sort of gladiators or personal slaves to just do menial tasks. They are sort of seen as like the workforce of Drow society. So you can see as you're walking through the streets, Soren, you see easily 30, 40 in a 10-minute walk of people that look very similar to you, that are in emaciated conditions, battered, bruised, missing their horns a lot of the time, teeth filed down a lot of the time, and they're being dragged. You watch as you're casually walking through the city as there is a tiefling that is kicked to the ground for dropping something and is beaten with a rod.
I think Tiso's gonna just like kind of trying to make it look like keeping the prisoner in line, but just like put a hand on Soren's arm and just like squeeze lightly.
Oh yeah. Are we in like a marketplace?
At the moment, you're just walking through the streets. If you'd like to be near a marketplace, you can absolutely find somewhere.
Yeah, because you're talking about shops.
Yeah,
Is there any like stalls that sell the kind of tea Antioch would make?
absolutely. You can find tea stalls very easily. There are small cafes all along the area.
Right.
Yeah, you can definitely find a little tea shop.
Needle's gonna be self-indulgent and buy some tea from a stall.
Yeah, you'll watch as Needle walks up to a stall and calmly buys tea. The person that you're interacting with is a drow male, and he looks slender, just slender, slightly underfed, but like not in anywhere near as bad as the condition as most of the slaves. And as you are about to pay, seemingly his wife kind of appears out of nowhere and takes payment rather than him.
Nice.
You came to me, you wee shit. Don't bite me. You came over to me.
I love how Needle's having a very different experience
Yeah.
than everyone else. Needle's like,
true,
oh my
she's
god,
freaking out.
shopping.
She's freaking out.
Isol's just like trying to hide his fucking.
Make me a charisma check to see if your deception. Yeah.
Oh,
Soren's not hiding it, he is upset.
Yeah. Theodore is crying and using
Correct.
everything not to freak out and just help people.
Just so you know, I'm gonna roll this and I'm probably not gonna hear you guys for 15 seconds because
Bloody-
that's what keeps happening.
I'm
Okay.
sorry you're not having a good time in here, but
Constant.
I don't understand where the issue has came from. You can be as upset as you like, but there's no solution. Can you hear him?
No, I just hear you talking to him.
He's just like low level yowling in the background, just fucking.
Oh.
I was mocking you. That's correct.
Oh, buddy. Yes.
But yeah.
5, unfortunately.
So you are not keeping your shit together well. But let me ask this: is Tiso's reaction anger or fear?
Anger.
You start getting incredibly dirty looks from some of the other drow, and at some point, Needle, you start noticing that there are people actively looking at you and noting your slaves and sort of talking to each other.
Oh god.
And as you're
okay.
walking past in Undercommon, you start to hear, "This one's not been branded yet. Must be rather new." Like
Is Tiso posing
start to
as
hear-
like
a slave.
As a slave.
Coco?
Ooh.
As you're making your way through, it takes about an hour of just going through the city. You know that in the centre of town is where the power lies. So it's up to you where you would like to be going. But as you're making your way through, you are approached by someone, a drow female, who says, is this fresh stock? Are you looking to sell?
Oh no, they're mine. Actually, this one I need to show them to one of the prisoners to get some information. They know each other.
Oh, I'm just in the market for buying. I was wondering if you would take any offers on the... And she points to the tiefling. And you can hear a conversation in Undercommon as they point to you. And then she reaches for a coin purse and pulls out 1,000 gold.
I back up a bit.
I was looking to resupply some stock. I'm running low on males to replenish the next generation, so I was looking to... He seems healthy enough.
See, that is actually very tempting because this one's very annoying, but I do need him. He's the one that I
They
need
look as if they've been disciplined heavily, but that's not something I'm unfamiliar with.
Yeah, they are, oof. Yeah, sorry.
Very well, thank you for your time. I will be moving on. And as you walk off, you can see that she is trailing behind her. She's got like 3 other tieflings, 3 females, all chained together in like a chain gang as she pulls them forward physically. And you make your way through
We're
the
just here
city.
for Oscar. We're just here for Oscar.
Let me ask Needle this. Where are you heading? You would know that the temple is in the very centre of town. This city is dedicated to Lolth. And if you were indeed looking for a high priestess, that would where she would be.
I'm trying to think. Where would I go if I needed to, like, bring a prisoner to see a different prisoner vibes? I don't know the geography good.
Other than speaking to someone that already knows where Oscar is, unless you have a different idea on how to find them, like a spell that I don't know about or that sort of thing, you don't really have enough information to track him at the moment.
I'm gonna say in everyone's head, can anyone do find person or creature or anything?
Nope.
If I respond, will it be?
I'm pretty sure I can. I know I can. I don't have spells.
I think.
What was your question, Theodore?
If I respond, will it be in the head?
You can think the response, yes.
Okay. I'm just gonna think back. I have the spell divination. I can ask which rough direction we could go.
Ooh. I've never seen divination used yet.
Okay.
I believe it's a 10-minute ritual as well, like where you have to actually like pray to your god and throw some rocks on the ground, and then they will tell you.
Action.
Is one action? Is divination that?
One action.
What was I thinking of? Let me just read it so that I know where you're at.
If we want to be as non-suspicious as possible going into it, you'd probably want to actually like find someone and ask where he is rather than wandering around trying to find him.
Yeah, that's correct. Tiso thinks that of maybe it's best you try a prison or someone in charge find. I don't know.
Yes, because we can find we can find a priestess.
So I will remind Theodore that divination, you can ask a direct question to the DM and I will reply as your god with a short sentence. So you could specifically say, if we go talk to the priests, are we likely to get the information we would like? And I would reply truthfully. But it would have to be a specific question.
Yes.
And it is one action, but it is verbal components. Verbal, somatic, and burning of incense. It costs you 25 gold to do it.
Yes.
So you would have to burn off 25 gold worth of incense, which I can definitely say you probably got incense on you as a cleric. But you would be wasting 25 gold. Or not wasting, but burning.
Wasting.
Yeah.
Because if you want to do that, I could like pass it off as like giving you an order to do something for me. Technically.
You could also find somewhere private if you wanted to. Like Drow Society has inns. You could book yourselves a room.
I don't know if we're staying that long.
Just as a thought for privacy was my thing. So what's the plan?
Well, we could either do that or find the temple, which I know where that is.
I think it's up to you to make that call, because it would either be you ordering him to do that or you taking us to the temple. Your call.
You're in charge here, Needle.
Yeah.
Have that responsibility.
Have fun.
There is decisions that you own us.
Okay.
Make me just a general history check before you decide.
Me?
Yes.
Okay. Boop. 9.
Even on a 9, if Theodore is caught to be openly worshipping anyone other than Lolth in this environment, he will be executed on the spot.
Okay. Cool. To the temple.
That's fair.
Needles in her elf sona.
So as you make your way towards the centre of town, You start to see that the buildings become a lot more lavish. You see a lot of polished black obsidian buildings, and you start to see evidence of things like sacrificial altars, of things like blood-stained gallows, of areas of the town that are designed for sacrifice and for open torture. And you start to see Temple of Lolth in the centre of town is this gigantic 5-story building that is shaped like it would be almost like an insect on a spider web. So you can see the ground before you is laid out in cobbles of various colours, creating a spider web for the temple to sit on. It's this large sort of Viking longship style building of the like, it's 5 stories tall with the big rounded roof, and you start to see almost in an arachnic way the ground before you feels like you're walking through a web.
Oh. Oh, I should have gotten those boots of non-stick, or whatever the fuck they're called.
Am I okay
Wait, no,
with
that's
my
not
clothes?
what they were, I think, but...
Everything seems to be moving forward fine. You're not being slowed down by any of this. It just, the distinct feeling of...
like the present.
At any moment, I could be trapped
Yeah.
in this area. It's a feeling of the oppressiveness of I'm walking into the lair of this thing. And you start to see drow priestesses, which are almost completely naked drow priestesses of wearing essentially just jewellery to show off as much of themselves as possible as a pride of point of to how similar to the depictions of Lolth they look like. With the long hair and the spider tattoos and the gold and the silk and the steel of various different like armor pieces that would be only designed by like game designers of like you've got someone that they're like, I'm in full plate, and then you can see their belly and arms, and it's like, well, you're definitely in something. But as you progress forward, one of these priestesses approaches you and says, "Ah, sister.
Hello.
What a wonderful day to see. May I ask what business you have with our wonderful church this evening?"
Of course. Well, I've been told by Ruby, who is currently taking up residence in Titan's Rock.
I see.
Yeah. She said that this one, I pointed at Soren, is friends with the person that she replaced. So I have to take this one to help and get some more information out of Oscar, I believe it was. But I believe they also know Maltera.
Oscar and Maltera. Well, if
Yeah.
you would like to come inside, we will be doing a ritual fairly soon. So if you'd like to take part in that, you can absolutely feel free to do so. There is an execution planned, a sacrifice for her beauty and radiance. In the name of Lolth, we are going to be killing one of our prisoners this evening. I'm unaware of the name, so we might want to move quickly, just so that can be replaced if it happened to be someone that might have a bit more information to give. So she makes her way in, and you see she has some quiet conversations with some other people, and they rush off to go find the information that she's looking for. And she comes back about 5-10 minutes later as she's led you through this place and says, "Excellent news. So this evening, one of the prisoners that's going to be executed doesn't appear to have the name Oscar or Maltera.
Wonderful.
So we can do a quick ritual and the sacrifice to Lolth's name as your prisoners, or are they all prisoners?" And she looks around. I can see some of them appear to be chained, but these two appear to be slaves.
It's a bit of a mixture at the moment.
Are you looking for storage for the 2 prisoners?
I ask in my head quickly, where do you want to go? Do you want to be stored somewhere, or do you want to come with me?
I don't know what that means.
Don't hit
I've never been stored anywhere.
You're coming with me.
Yeah, there we go.
But it's basically out of character. Do you want to be able to sneak around the building by escaping storage, or do you want to come with me to find Oscar?
Oh, Soren wants to stay with you. Soren's
Yeah.
freaking out.
No, I'll be
Wild,
coming
that.
with me then.
Very well. It's always a delight to introduce Lightsiders to the wonders of our rituals. So, shall we continue on?
Of course.
As you make your way through the temple, you eventually come to a large area. It looks almost like an amphitheater in that it's got raised seating with a... Mochi!
It's got Mochi!
Don't break the door.
It's got Mochi.
It's got Mochi. Mochi's a drow cat.
No wonder he's acting so different. Mochi's
Bring
been
him
placed
here.
Mochi's not happy.
Bakes, are you talking again and us not hearing you, or are you just sitting in silence again?
I'm not talking.
I'm just double checking.
As you make your way through, you see this amphitheater before you, and in the center is a large, almost like a black obsidian plate, maybe 15 feet in diameter, 15 feet across, with symbols of the spider all etched into it in white marble. And in the center, chained, spread-eagled in the star position, is a young man, appears to be half-elven, possibly elven, depending on the heritage purity that they've got. Light skin, wearing nothing but a loincloth. They look as if they've been beaten. They look as if they've been tortured. They're slightly emaciated. They seem to be unconscious at the moment. And as you make your way through, you start to see priestesses of Lolth start coming out, and they are dancing. They're doing a full ritual in preparation to how beautiful Lolth is. And they're going to sacrifice this person in ritual, and then they're going to use the blood to cast some spells.
Magic.
Tiso doesn't know if the messaging works, but he's just going to think we need to stay at least 20 feet from this in case whatever they like, in case they do any long distance or spell casting on this person. And also you need to make sure that Theo stays in check. Just he might like attack, like, I don't know. I hope you hear this.
I can hear. I'm keeping it open, trust.
Good, yeah, excellent. Oh, thank fuck.
As you watch this ritual start to take place, you watch as this, over the course of the next 10 minutes, with some chanting in Undercommon that Needle understands as a prayer, asking for help and guidance from Lolth, as they skin this man, living. And at the end of the ritual, they collect the skin of the still living man, completely intact, as if by an expert taxidermist. And they stab him through the heart in a final exaltation to Lolth's beauty. And that's where we're going to leave this week's session.
Oh,
wonderful.
Simply
What the fuck?
Home sweet home, guys.
Oh god, we're almost there.
This would be phenomenal.
So that's what would pass for going to church in Needle's childhood.
She grew up in a religious orphanage.
Oh, how sweet.
So,
Wow.
thank you very much for joining us for this week of our wonderful world of Orlea. It got a little bit dark. We might put some trigger warnings at the start of this episode. And we might definitely have to be putting some trigger warnings at the start of next episode. Because it's unlikely to get any brighter over the next couple sessions. So,
yeah, let's definitely do that.
Thank you very much for joining us. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.